Good morning. It's Pastor Marty from the Afternoon Drive. It's an early Monday morning edition, and this is going to be a quick video, but the reason I'm making it is I saw so much on YouTube regarding people just now disgusted with Fox News are going to walk away because they've dropped Judge Jeanine. And, obviously, Fox is heading liberal. Well, let's back the train up a little bit. Well, first of all, I have nothing personal against Judge Judy. She was not my favorite cup of tea. I didn't personally like her style, but I know a lot of people did. I like what she had to say as far as her content. I just wasn't really crazy about Judge Jeanine and her program, and I usually don't watch politics on Saturday night anyway. I would catch her sometimes on whether it was YouTube or some other service where they would, post her show up later, and that's how I would watch it when I occasionally did watch it. So I'm not anti Judge Jeanine, but I think some of you need to come to grips with the fact that Fox News never has been a conservative media outlet. Let me say that again. Fox News has never been a conservative media outlet. At best, Fox News can be categorized this way: controlled opposition. Controlled opposition. Now, the media forces were smart enough to realize that with CNN and other news outlets that definitely were over the years, especially as we get into the 1970s, the 1980s, their liberal bent was becoming more and more obvious. Many conservatives were tuning off the evening news, just not gonna watch it. It was just, my father absolutely hated Walter Cronkite, especially after, 1968, 69, when Walter Cronkite took to the airwaves to talk about that we just needed to pull completely out of Vietnam. And this was back in a day when patriotism meant you stand with your country through thick and thin. And my father just didn't like the liberal bend of Walter Cronkite. He could tolerate, apparently, the guys over at NBC, but nobody at ABC, nobody at CBS. And then once CNN came on, my father would, phone calls on the air, was literally at war with Bella Abzug when she had a call-in show on CNN. My father the liberal bend in the news was just more than he could take. And then, Rush Limbaugh on the radio, and conservatives immediately, that was it. When that happened, the media overlords decided, we need a TV version of this, where, conservatives think that they're, getting news their way. And Fox News was born. But it's run by the same system that regulates what we call the lying, legacy, mainstream, corporate media. It's about dollars and ratings, baby, period. And Fox News in particular, you do know it gets money from Saudi Arabia, right? So when Judge Jeanine went after Ilhan Omar for her beliefs and that she would try to circumvent the Constitution in favor of Sharia law, which, by the way, Judge Jeanine is not wrong about. Let me just say this. There are two types of Muslims: evolutionary and revolutionary. Evolutionary Muslims have the exact same goals as revolutionary Muslims. Revolutionary Muslims believe that Muslims ought to be in charge, ought to be running countries. Everybody ought to be a Muslim. If you're not, you're the great infidel, and you have to die. That is revolutionary Islam. That is what we call radical Islamic terrorism. And this is Hamas. This is ISIS. This is what we have decided to segregate and call the enemy. Evolutionary Islam believes the same thing. That Muslims ought to run everything, and if you're not a Muslim, you're the infidel. What they don't do is immediately grab for the sword or the gun. They put a suit and tie on, they get themselves elected, and then they legislate revolutionary Islam into law. That's Ilhan Omar. The sad fact is, for Fox News to do what it did, they revealed exactly how liberal they are. And see, and I got off the Fox train at the end of the 2012 contest when, after Mitt Romney lost, you could see the big shift at Fox News then. Hannity got bumped to 10, and in came Megyn Kelly for the 9 p.m. time slot. And Fox made a conscious decision then. They were not going to be portrayed simply as right-leaning. You've Got Shemp Smith, I know some people call him Shepherd, during the day, I mean, total liberal. He really, I listen to him and I think, why are you not over at CNN? Neil Cavuto, never Trumper, wants to talk like your typical Republican. You know, Neil and Jeb Bush get along great. Neil and the 12 traitor senators get along great. So your daytime Fox News, you know, and Fox and Friends in the morning, that is such light fluff. I can't stand that stuff. I don't watch morning shows. They all irritate me. Good Morning America, Today, Fox and Friends, and The View. It's not good for my heart condition. It's not good for my Christianity to watch The View. Occasionally I do have to watch it. I do put commentary regarding it and sound clips on my radio show, and some of those have been, well, shall we say, some of my best classic rants. They've never made it to YouTube. They're strictly for the radio show. You know, Joyless, Not a Babe Heart, and, you know, Whoopi Goldberg, and, you know, my commentary. And I will have something to say on my Monday radio show today about Meghan McCain is not going to tolerate the president taking a swipe at her dearly departed father. All I have to say about John McCain being dead is bye, 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 bye. He was a traitor. He should have been tried as a war criminal. The fact that he got himself a presidential pardon and then got himself elected to the Senate and was in a place to seal all of the records regarding Vietnam so that literally thousands of families in this country could never know if their MIA son or husband was actually MIA, killed in action, or a prisoner of war, because McCain had all those records sealed. Why? Because he didn't want you to know what a traitor he was being while he was in Vietnam. That's another issue. I know it has not really anything to do with what I'm talking about here, but I hate daytime TV. Just hate it. And you need to understand, it is not that Fox is shifting left that Jeanine was shown the door. She was shown the door because they are left. They're just controlled opposition. The ideology of the suits that run that place is the exact same ideology that runs CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC. These are all cocktail liberals, every one of them. And they throw in a Hannity. That's a bone they throw to us. They throw in a Laura Ingraham. Tucker better watch his back, because he's being shot at not simply by Media Matters and the Southern Law Poverty, or the whatever that organization is that, you know, they only seem to watchdog conservative media. I was no Bill O'Reilly fan. Didn't particularly like his program. Really didn't like his real lack of ideology, and the fact that all of his books are ghost written. But that's another issue. But I was forced to defend Bill O'Reilly over the way Fox let him go. And then, you know, Megyn Kelly being able to make, you know, after the fact innuendos about him and Roger Ailes, and, you know, I can't stand that kind of stuff. And so Fox News letting Judge Jeanine go, it's typical. You know, look at what a deranged mouthpiece Judge Knapp is on Fox News. You know, come on. They hired Juan Williams. NPR fired. So we took an NPR reject? Come on. And then they hired that girl, what is her name? Smurf, Snurf. You know, she was the one that felt that one of the things that the Obama administration ought to be doing that would bring peace to the Middle East is if we had a job training program for all of these irate Muslim men, so that instead of picking up weapons and wanting to commit terror, they would get a job. Okay, and what did we do with that blonde twit? We gave her a job at Fox News. Now, the other female anchors there, they don't have anything to worry about because they're just BNBs, and as long as they stay BNBs, they will keep their positions at Fox News. If you want to know what BNB is, just think about words that start with B. I can tell you the letter N is no, so it's B, no brains. B, no brains. You figure out the rest. I have to make sure I don't violate community standards. Okay, that said, I'm sorry Judge Jeanine is gone. Not surprised. And again, you shouldn't be either. And to say you'll not watch Fox News again because it's gone liberal, it's never been conservative. That's what you've got to understand. All right, that's it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get my next rant, and I'm sure there'll be another one coming today.